Hopkins,
Here.
Pat Kelly,
Here.
Bill Petro,
Here.
Jamie Arnold,
Here.
Joanne Lamb.
Here.
All right, with everybody present, I need an approval of the agenda as council has received.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it's printed. All those in favor? 4-0. Approval of the minutes, May 11th, 2021.
I think there needs to be a correction on that.
Okay.
If you look at paragraph 12, it states that Pat Kelly moved to hire and obtain a structural engineer report to inspect 3 buildings within the city. The actual, motion, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm very hard.
Right, for here. The actual motion was for one specific building.
That's not true, it's all three.
The word was, I move that we have a structural engineer report done on that building. If
On
the
the
city has to pay,
buildings,
I'm sorry, sir,
plural,
I'm speaking,
plural,
please.
plural, the building.
Hold it, make your references to the mayor, please. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I listened to the, audio of it. It says, quote, I move that we have the structural engineer report done on that building. If the city has to pay for it, so be it. I think the hardware should pay for it, but if the city has to pay for it, so be it. We need that done. So actually, the motion was for one building.
We should have that on audio, so, underline that and, make sure that is in the record correctly. In this, it says 3 buildings, check that, if that needs to be adjusted to building, then make that necessary adjustment. Gary, would you do that?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else? Do I have a motion on, and a second on that? On the minutes?
I can make a motion that we accept the minutes after they're amended at the next meeting if you'd like.
We could make a motion to, these minutes with necessary amendments as they are brought up.
Okay, so word it as, I would like to make a motion that we accept these minutes with the necessary amendments. Added, sorry.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to, accept the minutes, and check the audio, make sure that the wording is correct before that goes into record. All those in favor? 3-0, opposed? 1. All right. All right, we have a guest tonight, Sarah Kimbrough.
It's actually Sarah James. That's
Sarah
my
James,
name, yeah.
okay.
Thanks for letting me talk tonight, guys. I'm a member of the Granby Economic Development Committee, and it's actually a committee that's been around for over 30 years now. It's kind of had spots where it's been more active, times where it's been more inactive, and we're in that cycle where we're really wanting to be more active with it. And so with that, we thought it might be helpful to share with the city some of our projects that are coming up. And hopefully we can just be very open about that, because we feel like it's really important to keep on the same page about stuff like that. So our first project we're really excited about, we want to give people a reason to stop and look at Granby. We've got so many people that travel along Highway 60 every day. And what we know is that for a small town like ours, they've got to have a reason to stop and just, even for 2 seconds, take a look at us and think about what's going on here. Well, right now, there's really nothing going on much at that intersection for anybody to really think, but just to pass right on by. So our first project is to make people at that intersection go, wait, what is that? Maybe I should stop. And the, project will be to have a big mural painted, right there on the corner of the old hardware store, right there by Main and 60. So that in our generation of people who like to take selfies, who like to take pictures of murals, will not only pull over and think about Granby, but want to take a picture, share it on social media, tag where they're at, and then go, maybe I should walk down Main Street. Maybe I should have lunch at JJ's. Maybe I should see what else is happening in this town or find out more about it. So that's our first project. And we're gonna kick it off next week with a t-shirt and a ball cap fundraiser. And it says Small Town Proud. And we will be selling them at the pop-up market, but we'll be selling them online and just talking a lot about it. So we wanted you guys to know about it and kind of know our big push for, you know, a place to start. It's a place to start with getting Granby back on the map. Okay. So our second project is going to take place on June 10th at 6:30. It's gonna be over in the annex. And we are calling it a dream session. And I know you're probably like, well, what's the dream session? So what it looks like is our committee is hosting it, but it's for everybody. It's for the community to come and be part of it. It's a time for people with their positive thoughts, ideas, their dreams, anything, big dreams, small dreams, whatever we want to see happen in Granby. But it's a time for them to come and just to voice that and brainstorm and be part of the change and be part of the growth. So we are going to have free pizza. We're gonna have pizza there from Simple Simons. And we're gonna start putting it out there that we hope to get a good crowd. We'd love for you all to come too and just be part of that. But we look forward to a partnership. We look forward to growth and Granby. We're really excited to see this committee kind of come back to life.
This mural would be painted on the bricks or what?
Yeah, it will be.
Oh, it won't have new stucco or plaster, it'll just be on the bricks.
We have an artist that we're gonna hire, and she has done murals all over the area. So she'll have kind of her expertise on what to do.
Is it gonna be like the original painting, the Bull Durham picture?
That's so
or-
cool, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah,
And what we're thinking right now, we're gonna have a couple of designs made and let everybody vote on it.
okay,
But it's going to be probably more along the lines of like a welcome to Granby, like an old postcard look, and the letters of Granby will have different things that like are important in Granby on the inside of it. That's kind of what we're going. We want people to be able to, I guess, stand underneath it and take those signs and stuff.
yeah,
But I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
That could be a cool one to go further down on the building too.
What was the date for the thing at the community?
June 10th.
June
6:30.
I've always said that Granby always needed a town slogan. And I think, small town proud, is that what you said?
That's what's gonna be on the t-shirts.
But I think it's
Uh-huh.
it's a handy slogan. I thought that, Granby is where I belong, or however that's on I thought those were just good slogans for our town. And I think that's good. But I appreciate the efforts that's gone into brainstorming something for our town. And I can always appreciate that, and I believe the council probably echoes the same sentiment. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Next, Wayne Smith.
He called and didn't want to be present, so.
He didn't want, okay. All right, just cross that out. All right, into new business, bills to pay and balances on hand. You've had a chance to look at those. Any questions on that from the council?
What is capital outlay, what all is entailed in that?
Is it 300, Joanne? Anything over $300 that is like improvements on a building, I suppose electronics, computers, anything like that, that
Has a 3-year life, am I right?
No,
Anything that has a life expectancy greater than 3 years.
I'm sorry, I worded it incorrectly. What all is purchased within this capital outlay? Like what, because it just says capital outlay, but it doesn't
Right,
tell us what we're
right.
doing. Sorry, I worded it then.
In each department, you will tell us.
Okay, the
the
CV
different
glass.
parks that have to be different.
Which is the windows for the PD.
And police,
The,
1188 windows for the PD.
yeah,
Parks, that's, the fencing
right,
and, there's something else that's in that number.
the barrier that you guys,
That was in streets.
yeah, is the
It was
streets.
the 800, gate, the barrier that goes across Neosho Street, so people won't drive through there. It's a more permanent, probably just needs some reflective tape on it.
I'm gonna get some of the red diamond type reflective signs.
Take it, just see.
Waterfront, no. That's doing, that's it. I was just curious.
But they were, things that are gonna be there for at least 3 years, something that you're putting on your building, a door, a window, or something of that nature. I wish they would just, I guess this is this, am I correct, is this QuickBooks conversation, the way they, QuickBooks, how it presents it? So questions are always open and welcome. Okay, I would entertain a motion. Unless there's anything else.
So moved.
I do have a motion on the floor.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion and a second to accept the bills to pay and the balances on hand, and all those in favor? 4-0. Okay, the next one was the fireworks for Old Mining Town days. I'm not sure what direction this is. It was placed in there. My thoughts, gut feeling is basically it's to purchase the fireworks needed for Old Mining Town days. That needs to be done and purchased early enough to get that. Am I speaking out of turn here? But I believe that's what it is. And we approved a number to help with the fireworks. Am I correct in saying that?
We did.
So I'm not sure why this is in there personally. I don't
I
know what.
think he was just gonna assure you that he was able to purchase fireworks.
Okay,
I think he just.
nothing to vote on.
I don't know why.
It's FYI.
I think so,
FYI.
I believe so.
FYI. Just for that. All right, next, number 3, the wastewater superintendent, Victor, purchase for wastewater treatment plant.
I'm having trouble with the flow meter out at the plant. It's only reading half of what it should. So I sent it in to have repaired. They no longer service those flow meters, so as of right now, I'm just waiting to get a price on what a new flow meter would cost. So I don't have a price yet. We just,
So it's basically another FYI for the council.
yeah, well, I was hoping to have a price by today,
Okay.
but, so we'll wait till the next time.
Let's table that, council. I entertain a motion to go ahead and table that.
I'll move to table the wastewater superintendent's request.
I have a motion and a second to table this request till the next meeting. All those in favor? 4. The resolution for the grant. We had the meeting for, early on, am I correct? Do we have that resolution?
Yes.
resolution in front of me. Do you have it? That's not it.
I have it.
Okay, go ahead.
A resolution ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Granby concerning acceptance and compliance with various requirements to obtain financial assistance from the United States of America, acting through the United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Development.
This was posted, am I right? Okay. So we can make a motion to accept this on the first reading. You guys have a card there. Is there a, excuse me, is there an ordinance number?
No, she just said we just need to read that and you vote, because it's a resolution,
It's
not.
a
It's, okay, it's not an ordinance,
No.
okay, I'm sorry. Then, I'll just entertain a vote, a motion, and then a vote.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any conversation on this? Have a motion and a second to, agree to the resolution, concerning the USDA block grant for the city of Granby. All those in favor? 4-0. All right. Discussion about the adoption fee. Is that, Catherine, that you?
Well, we have been talking a little bit about wanting to, as it is now, when we adopt out the dog from the dog pound, there is not an adoption fee per se. It's the new owner will have to pay for spay, neuter, and a rabies shot. I think that it would be fair and right to ask for a small fee to go to the dog pound too, because, for instance, if you pick up your dog has got lost and you have to pick it up, there is a fee to pick it up, because there's a cost to house this animal. So I think is it reasonable to ask a small fee in addition to what they have to pay for spay and neuter? And then also, now that we have East Newton Animal Coalition, we have some resources that now and then we can get an animal or a dog, either neutered or spayed, and, you know, get their shots done for $10 that we kind of pay out of our funds. And we don't want the city to just give that dog away. That will be, Phil, that's not a good thing. You don't give away animals like that. So then in that instance, I feel like it would be better to raise the adoption fee a little bit to reflect the value of that service already being done for them.
What fee do you propose?
I was, you know, it's hard to say. You know, you have to help me out here. God.
I believe like Faithful Friends and some of the other places charge like I think it's $50, just a flat fee.
Yeah.
And that covers our costs as far as housing the animal, feeding it, getting its shots, if it has to be spayed and neutered.
So if somebody wants to adopt an animal out of the pound, we're talking about a $50 fee, possibly the fee of it being spayed or neutered, and shots. So we're looking at the possibilities of it being what, $100 by the time they get done, or?
Right. Yeah. The fee that the pound would charge, basically an administrative fee to reimburse the city for getting all that stuff done.
Yeah.
And the time invested in the paperwork and filings and all that stuff that's going on with it.
Well, I have a question. I do agree that obviously we recoup some of the costs involved here. Then also, we need to consider the fact that we don't need to fill up the pound with dogs that will not be adopted because of a
Right.
fee. Now,
No.
what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so we charge, as, ENAC, our organization, we charge $125 flat for any dog that we have, adopted out. That includes the spay neuter, all the shots, and, we also microchip our animals.
That's the East Newton group.
Yes, and that's not an unreasonable fee. We never get any complaints about
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna ask if you had any complaints, you don't have any.
No.
I know a lot of them will do like if Catherine's got a set price on a spay or a neuter fee, you pay, say, $150, and when you bring a vet receipt showing that you got the dog spayed and neutered, then they would get that money back.
Yeah,
They used to do.
that's also a possibility, but the problem is, we have a obligation to the state to not release the animals until they're neutered or spayed. So that's a little scary, because people, you can't always trust that people will go and do what they're supposed to do. We have done it on occasion with people that we can, we know where they live, to put it that way,
Do you believe that you could continually, adopt the animals out?
And not always, no.
That's
Some animals are.
$100.
Yeah, some animals, I'm gonna have to continue transfer to other shelters. Like, there are animals that are behaviors that are not, reasonable to, I would never be, comfortable adopting out. We have 3 feral puppies down there now. They can't go anywhere quite yet. They need,
If we have a dog in there that's got a bad history, it's aggressive, do we seek out a no-kill facility that dog gets to?
no. It depends on,
So that dog could wind up being put down depending on the situation.
yeah, it depends on the situation. I mean, I have gotten dogs or transferred to others before with a bite history, but,
We do our best not to do that.
Right.
yeah. It's a very, very delicate balance there, and you have to really go into each situation, each dog, and really, really know that dog before you can make a decision like that, because that's a very, very big responsibility. If a dog has bitten somebody, has a known bite history, I would usually not feel very comfortable either transfer or adopt out at all, because that is scary. So
Any
it
other
depends on
questions,
the
council?
situation.
Or Catherine? Chief? What about the logistics of this process? Collecting money and putting money somewhere and that type of, we already do part of that,
Right,
don't we?
we've already got, processes in place for, collecting fees from when people come and pick up their dog and loose. If they start, whether it's the $10 fee or 25 or whatever it is, how many times it's been out. When they come in and get that, we make sure that they have, verification of rabies. If they don't have it, we take the dog to get the rabies shot, and they reimburse us for that when they come to pick up the dog. Then we also make sure they get a city tag. That's steps we already have in place. I don't think adding an adoption in there would really be that much extra work. It'd just be another form we'd have.
Councilmen and women, are you comfortable with the $50 added fee,
Sure.
adoption fee? I'm okay with it on my end. If you believe we should add that to the process,
And I think that should be on top of and in addition to any other expenses the city has.
there is an adoption fee. I entertain that motion.
I make a motion that we allow the dog pound to go ahead and, put a $50 adoption fee on the animals.
I'll second
I got a motion in a couple seconds,
Oh.
Joanne, Pat, to add a $50 adoption fee to the process that we already have in place. A real good one, I might add. All those in favor? 4-0. Thank you, guys. Okay. Okay, the next item is the senior center. I had that added there because the bottom part of what used to be the Annex 1, which is now the community building, has a building that's being, a bathroom added to it, an ADA bathroom added to it, a nice front entrance ramp for, dedicated for the senior. And so, my thoughts are, to the council, should we install a committee or a group of 3 or 4 to oversee senior activities? If you believe that that is an okay thing, then we should seek out those individuals that would be perfect for that and could take on that responsibility to oversee the facility and if they wanted to let somebody else use it, or parties or whatever, they have meals, or they could go up to the community side, dance if they want to. Seniors are they just do those things, they just love it. Anyhow, what do you think as a council? This is just something to think about adding a committee to the senior center to oversee it. Do you like it, don't like it? I'm not sure do we need to vote on that? Do we need to get that in the record as obtaining a senior center committee as we go forward with activities and things in the future? Well, I would entertain a motion then to that effect if the council would approve.
I would make that motion, that we seek out a committee and find out who is really interested in that and make a committee to run that. Second.
I got a motion, a second, to seek out a senior center committee to oversee the center and the activities and the logistics of the senior center. I've got a motion, second. All those in favor? 4-0.
Would you have Sharon on the city council?
Pardon me?
Would you have Sharon on the city council if you want?
I'm not sure I understand.
Or would you have Sharon
Oh,
on the city council?
it would be a self acting group. That basically they would go ahead and answer to the city council as a group. Just basically the council would oversee the activities, but like any other committee in town, that would be their responsibility. Am I not speaking out of turn here? Am I okay? That answer your question, Mark? Okay, number 7 is dangerous buildings. We touched on this last meeting. As I dove into the work and the responsibilities of what town has and what we do as a community, any project that is takes on a yay and a nay atmosphere. So, that being said, there are people that agree with what goes on. Let's say the hardware building, or the Scholes building, or the old church building. I think it's by ordinance, the process has been assigned to what they consider in ordinance the building commissioner. And the building commissioner is the mayor. It says in section 500.070, the building commissioner, it says the mayor shall act as building commissioner under this chapter. And also it goes on in that duties, the building inspector or the building commissioner, which is the mayor, will supervise the inspections and make sure that basically, if you read this, make sure that properties are dealt with in a safe manner. If by the finding of fact, there is a problem, the building commissioner, which is the mayor, would deal with it at that time. But as a mayor, I'll take on the responsibility of making sure that Granby grows and Granby stays safe. And so I'll make sure that both those things are true and sound. And that's part of what I am hired by the people to do and look after, and I certainly will. I promote growth, responsible, safe growth in this town, 100%. And then I look at what is necessary to make sure the citizenry stays safe. And so I'll make sure that those things are accomplished. And I have people that will look at buildings, they'll inspect buildings, they'll give advice on buildings, but according to our ordinance, the mayor will take care of those things. And that being said, there was a motion made last meeting to have a building inspector come and do that and bypass the mayor's responsibility. And I would hope that the motion would be rescinded. And
I would argue that, Mr. Mayor, that the motion was made at the last meeting, it was voted on, and it did pass to have the buildings inspected by an engineer. So that was voted on. There was an issue to find out if that legally passed, and the way I read it, it did legally pass.
So are you
there
gonna
is
open
there
this?
is there's nothing else to be said on that. You can do it. But we'll just have to see if go ahead, Joanne.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to rescind my second motion to the Dangerous Building.
Joanne wants to rescind her part of that motion, which would, if we'll check into the legalities, would cause that to die. But we'll look into the legalities on that. And we'll
I don't think
make
that would
another.
cause it to die, Mr. Mayor, but I think the only way I can see to stop the motion that was made, and it was voted on, and it did pass, but I understand, as a matter of fact, Chad brought up the issue about the votes not passing, and phone calls was made. But if you, as the mayor, are rejecting the results of that vote and taking on the obligation for the building, all I'm saying, are you rejecting the vote that was taken?
What I'm saying is there has been a rejection of the second and the vote that carried the motion.
Yes.
And that's what I have to,
The votes have already been taken.
Can we take votes against the ordinances we have set? I mean, if we have set ordinances that say that we need to follow these rules or these guidelines, and we bypass that entire set of guidelines, is that a lawful vote?
I would argue that, and my thought here is that this by ordinance should go back into the hands of what we consider the building commissioner, which is the mayor, to look into the buildings, make sure everything is okay with them, make sure they're good for the town, in a positive, complete way. Excuse me, just,
And not bringing in an engineer.
I didn't say that.
So could you take a revote?
I don't think it would be legal to,
Why wouldn't it?
because I said it would.
Well, let's, Bill has brought to my attention that in a fourth-class city, the mayor of a fourth-class city has the following powers and duties. He may veto any ordinance passed by the Board of Aldermen, although the veto may be overridden by 2/3 of the members of the board. So, that being said, then I would veto that last motion
It wasn't,
and call for a vote.
it wasn't an ordinance, though, it was a motion.
That is not an ordinance, that's correct.
See, that's a different wording.
Make a new ordinance, make a new veto.
Actually, as it stands though, Mr. Mayor, that was only voted on one building. So hiring a structural engineer for all three is not required. So if you're concerned about the burden that it's gonna put on the taxpayers, it is actually one versus the three.
Yeah, I'd like for that engineer to be able to look at the three, if the price was right, which was in my plan, but I just thought that we were maybe going in a wrong direction, maybe to end up with a good result here. So, that being said, we won't, we don't have to move on that then. Is the council in agreement to go ahead and take on the responsibility of the engineer as made by the prior motion? According to that motion, it passed 2-1, one abstention. Joanne's just saying she would like to pull her vote. So, I need to find out, I need to get some legal help with that. So we'll table this issue again till the next meeting and make a final, decision on that. I would entertain a motion to table this, till the next meeting.
I move to table this until we find out the right legality on this, until the next meeting.
I have a motion on the floor
I'll second.
and a second. Those in favor of tabling this till the next meeting, you can vote. 3, those that oppose, 1, 3-1. All right, move on to a floor cleaner. Something to clean the floors in the gym of the community center and the floors on the community building side, which actually can move down and clean the floors in the senior side also. Floor cleaners, something to take care of what we have already fixed. The lowest price was a Viper cleaning equipment corded scrubber at $2,039. I'd entertain conversation on this.
I would like to ask Jessica how easy it is to mop the entire floor down there. Do you think we need a floor cleaner?
I think we do.
She got the pleasure of having to clean the whole gym before our quilt show. And I want to say it took, what, 4 or 5 hours.
It took from about 10 to 5:30,
Yeah.
10:30 to 5:30.
Whole workday. So I do believe that, a floor cleaning system is needed.
It's a clean gymnasium floor.
Well, it's not just the gymnasium, it can be used in the annex and in the senior center. It does seem like a lot of money, but I did research several of them. We have 3 of them in front of us. One of them is battery powered, which would be, nice, not having to use the cords, however, we don't know how long the batteries would last. And it was released May 15th, so it has no reviews. I wouldn't entertain
I
that.
think we'd be better off having the electric.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Any other questions? I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the Viper cleaning equipment, which is priced at $2,039. Oh, do we know what the warranty is on that one? That's the only one I couldn't find the warranty on.
I haven't researched anything, so I'm part of that. Sorry.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to purchase. Any other conversation on that? All those in favor? 4-0. All right, last thing on the list, City Hall termite inspection, extermination. If you'll gaze over here to this window, we were invaded by termites and pulled the trim off, and they were just everywhere, gobbling and gobbling on that wood. So we called the exterminator in and he gave us a price of $450 to take care of that. And I think it's probably, for what's being done, is probably normal. They'll go underneath and make sure that's all termite free and take care of our problem. I think that the price was, am I right, $450?
It's at $450 to $500.
Okay, $450 to $500. So I would entertain a motion, unless there's any more conversation.
Is there gonna be a discussion at the next meeting about fixing the termite damage? Cause it is right underneath the window, and that window is pretty heavy.
Yeah, we get that termite, colony killed out, what have you like that. We'll have to discuss some type of a repair there. Jim, help me with this. Do you see any problem?
No, I don't think it would, 'cause they were mainly in that one,
In
just
the
one little
corner.
corner, yeah. So it'll depend on what he finds underneath.
Okay. But we'll have to address the council again to see if there's anything that's real bad. Okay? Did we vote on that?
No.
I got a motion and a second, don't I?
Who's
I make a motion that we hire the termite inspector and exterminator at the price between $450 to $500.
I got a motion and a second now.
Right.
All those in favor? 4-0. All right, guys, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn, if there's nothing else.
I will be happy.
I have a motion and a second with Joanne to adjourn. All those in favor? 4-0, we are adjourned at 6:45.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
Can you give
ma'am.
us an update on what we've got done up there? I'm just curious. On the building, where we at on it, what's been done, what we're waiting on?
Well, obviously, the bathrooms have been completed. They're in the midst of putting flooring down in the community part right now. And, I talked to the contractors, and the contractors are terrible behind because of help. And some of them are being faced with the head-on with the rising costs in the materials, but, they're battling through, but that's kind of where we are on that right now. I got a call from, the lighting person, and he was expecting the lights to be delivered last week, so I'll make sure and contact him again. So, but that's, we're coming along, but what has taken so long is materials getting here and help. The guy that's doing the ceiling in the gym, he needs help bad. But, we're just taking it as it comes.
Thank you.
We're dismissed.